Hi, my name's Sam Dyer and welcome to the Life More Powerful podcast. In this episode, I'm going to talk to you about how you may be going wrong by proving yourself right without even realizing it. Something intrinsic in human psychology is our love of confirmation bias. We seek out or interpret information in such a way that confirms what we already think. Essentially, we're reinforcing our values, our beliefs, and our way of operating. It sits more easily with us than those things that challenge us. Makes sense, doesn't it, really, I suppose, when you think about it. So think about what you read, for example. Do you seek out variations on a theme, or do you honestly go for books which are contradictory to your standpoint? So how does this affect our mindset? Have you had a day recently when you got out of bed and immediately stubbed your toe? It's a pain like no other, isn't it? Yeah. The chances are that you start off the day not in the best of moods. You might say something like, I just know today is going to be rubbish, or words to that effect. Of course, you end up spilling coffee on your laptop, being stuck in traffic, missing a meeting, and whatever else it is that goes wrong. You've proved yourself right. Well done. You said that the day would be rubbish, and it was. Give yourself a pat on the back. Do you feel good for proving yourself right? No, of course you don't. Whilst we're on the subject of bad days, do you ever actually really have a bad day? A whole day? All 24 hours? All 1,440 minutes? Or is the truth of it that you actually had a couple of bad things happen to you, which you then completely milked all day long? I bet that even when someone nearly cheered you up, you managed to fight it. No, I'm going to stay mad. I'm having a rubbish day and you ain't going to stop me. You know what I mean, don't you? Those times when you can feel yourself starting to smile and yet weirdly want to stay mad. It takes conscious effort and energy to push those bad vibes away. Your default position is what I've just described. So in order to stop it, you need to step in and take over yourself. So how do you do that? Well, it's a mixture of reframing and changing a reaction to a response. Here's a little story to illustrate reframing for you. I used to get road rage a lot. Not to the point of ever getting out of the car. I was the one who would be right on the tail of the car in front that had wronged me. Full beam on and all that. Not a great way of driving, I know, and yet that was me. I always remember this one time when I was in my little Daihatsu Sport Track. This is going years back. I was at a filter junction and had to slam on the anchors when someone pulled out in front of me. I used a special hand gesture to suggest it wasn't the best move on his part. He came out of his car right up to me, and it was at this point I suddenly remembered that I didn't have a roof on. He kept saying, "Who's at anchor?" over and over again. Well, I mean, at least I think that's what he said. It was a split decision. Either I just took it head on, or I tried to pretend it wasn't meant for him. I mean, there was a fat chance he was going to believe that. So I calmly said, "Well, you are. You just pulled out in front of me. When you've got your kid in the back of the car, I've got bull bars on the front of this thing, and I had to slam the brakes on." And thankfully, he stormed off. Well, what I didn't realise until I got home was that my mum was actually about 5 cars back from me. So when she got back, she said, "Oh, what was all that went on at the Cat and Fiddle?" Anyway, that was one of those things. So fast forward a lot of years and I started learning about all this NLP stuff. That's neuro-linguistic programming. One of the presuppositions of NLP is that all behaviour comes from a positive intent. Now, it really took me some time to get my head around that. Everything anyone ever does has a positive intent behind it. Now, it may well not line up with your map of the world, and yet it does in theirs. The more I understood about human behaviour, the less I got angry on the roads.